Fair use, copyright infringement. What can I use in my online teaching business? What can I put in my classes? These are all questions that I have seen teachers ask repeatedly since I joined Outschool. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jillian Shanahan, and on this channel we talk a lot about online teaching, ways that you can work from home, ways that you can grow your income, get more bookings, and become a successful online teacher working from home. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe to this channel because there is a ton of content that I put out. I've been trying to put out a video a day for this month and I kind of missed a couple of days. Sorry about that. But I do have a lot more content coming. I've been really busy with what I'm about to announce at the end of this video. If you are here for that, make sure you stay for the end of the video because after I tell you everything I tell you here, we're going to go into that, and that's really exciting too. Now, before I go into this topic, I do want to give a quick disclaimer that I am not a lawyer, and this is not considered to be legal advice. This is all my opinion on the fair use law, and it's meant to help you make your own opinions on the fair use law. But I wanted to talk about some things that teachers had said that I've heard them say that are simply not true. Number one, I can use things that I paid for. I bought it, I own it, I can use it in my classroom. A lot of sellers specifically say in their terms and conditions when you buy that buying it does not give you the right to use it for commercial use. A lot of sellers say that it's only meant for personal use. A lot of places say you can use this, but not for commercial use. Now, commercial use means that you're using it for a profit. You're intending to make a profit. Even if you don't make a profit, you're intending to make a profit. So that being said, Outschool classes or any classes that you are teaching in which they are making you money, that is for profit. The second thing that I've heard being said is that you can use it for educational purposes. This is not even considering the whole like for-profit or not-for-profit, commercial, private use, blah, 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 all that. This is just educational purposes. And again, that is not true. So last year in 2019, a Houston school had to pay $9.2 million. Essentially what happened, the school principal went and he found some study guides online. He bought them, he loved them, he thought they were amazing. He handed them out to some students and he got sued, and the school district had to pay $9.2 million. That's a lot of money, especially for a school. Like, for a school district to have to pay out that money when they're providing for our kids and they're supposed to be like buying books and supporting school programs and whatnot. That's a lot of money. He didn't make a profit off of it. It was just to help his students out. He bought it, so he owned it. But he didn't own it for that right because he was not given the right to use it for that purpose. Another thing that I've heard a lot is that if you can find it online, it's fair game. You can use it if it's online, but that's also not true. A creator still has to give you the right, and they don't even have to copyright it for it to be under the copyright law. They don't have to register it. If it's online, that does not necessarily mean that it's fair game. So I've seen teachers say, like, if it's on Pinterest, if you're not familiar with it, is a website / app that you can use, and you can pin literally anything. You can pin this video. You can pin a Google image. You can pin your own image. Just because that image is on Pinterest does not give you the right to use that image, to use the material from that pin, because you can pin anything, and a lot of the stuff on Pinterest is actually under copyright law. I've also heard that if it's available for free on a website called Teachers Pay Teachers, that you are allowed to use it in your classrooms. This is also not true. Again, in Teachers Pay Teachers website, their terms and conditions state that they are for non-commercial purposes only unless you have the explicit permission of the seller. Now, I recently saw a situation on a Facebook forum here where a teacher had bought something. She communicated with the seller, said, do I have permission to use this in my online classroom in Outschool? The seller said yes. Later on, she revoked that permission and said, please remove all of your stuff. I don't really know what goes into that as far as if that's, you know, whatever, she bought it with the intention of using it and whatever, that's a whole other thing. But even in that case, the seller revoked permission. I have also seen so many cases of people using Disney images. Now that's really cool, right? Like, let's take Elsa for example. She's super popular. My 3 girls are all 4 years apart, and they have all gone through an Elsa phase. Now, I want to give you some examples of why that's not a good idea. Disney doesn't play. In 1989, there were 3 daycare centers in Florida, and basically what these daycare centers did is they painted on their walls. They painted murals on their walls. I'm sure you've seen that in schools or daycare centers before. They have like cartoony things all over their walls. Well, what they chose to paint on their walls were pictures of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and somebody else, I think. They had painted pictures of Disney characters on their wall. Disney did not like this, and Disney threatened to sue them. They said, basically, by having those pictures painted on the wall, it was informing visitors and clients and students and anyone who came in that, you know, to give them the impression that they were affiliated with Disney. And they threatened to sue. Now the daycare center, they didn't end up getting sued. They ended up taking these, painting over them. Another company came in, made a statement by saying, hey, you can use our pictures instead. But they did threaten to sue these daycare centers. In 2008, a couple, a very poor couple actually, was trying to make some money by doing children's parties. And they went on eBay and they bought these Tigger and Eeyore costumes. They said they were not Tigger and Eeyore costumes, but they were just a tiger and a donkey. However, they were clearly meant to be Tigger and Eeyore. You look at them and you don't say that's a tiger, you would say that's Tigger. It was very, very clearly meant to be Tigger. Disney found out about this and they said, you need to return the costumes to us so that we can destroy them, and you need to cease and desist. You need to stop this. So they stopped and they returned the costumes. They didn't return them to Disney, they returned them to the seller, which was a seller on eBay. Disney sued this couple for $1 million. I'm pretty sure they did not make $1 million doing children's parties from these costumes. In 2015, Star Wars had a new movie out or something, and they had a new line of toys, and the Star Wars toys apparently had some spoiler within the toy. Walmart put these toys on the shelves a little bit early, mistakenly, and somebody went out, a Star Wars fan went out and they purchased these toys and they posted a picture of them on Facebook. Disney threatened to sue. They sent a cease and desist letter to this person that had bought the toys and said, you can't be sharing pictures of these on Facebook. He didn't do anything wrong, but they threatened litigation to someone who had bought one of their products and posted a picture of it on Facebook. That's pretty out there, right? In 2016, there was called like Lightsaber Academy, and this was a school that taught people how to fight with lightsabers. It was meant for fun. Super Star Wars fans were running it. Super Star Wars fans were going to it, I'm sure. And Disney sued this school for the use of their trademarked lightsabers. I guess my point here with Disney is that Disney does not play. And I'm not quite sure why teachers are so comfortable with using copyright images, especially from Disney, because Disney does not play, and I really do feel like it's only a matter of time before Disney decides to not play in this area too. And just to give you an idea of how Disney works, Disney has a whole team of people that go out and look for people that are violating Disney copyright laws. They're looking for you. Secondly, there's also a report feature for Disney. All somebody would have to do is report you to Disney, and then you would be on their radar. I personally would never use a Disney image because it is under copyright, and you do face serious consequences, I don't think it's worth the gamble. There are other ways to go around it without using Disney. I know Disney's super popular and I know it's really tempting to use it, but I also do not believe that it's worth the risk. All right, so let's say you use something and the seller didn't give you permission. Now the seller is mad. What's going to happen? Well, I can't really tell you what's going to happen. That's a really, really gray area, and it's different in every case. So they can send you a cease and desist letter, and that's probably what happens most of the time is that, you know, they'll send you a cease and desist letter. Stop using my stuff. That's my stuff. Don't use it. They could also sue you. So what happens if they sue you? You're going to hopefully spend a lot of money on a lawyer so that you can actually win the case. And you're going to go in front of a judge. The judge is going to consider a few things. They're going to consider the purpose of the use, the nature of the use, how you're using it. So purpose, why you're using it, nature, how you're using it. The amount of the work that was taken from the creator, the length of the work, so how long you're using it for, and the effect on the creator. Now these are some pretty vague terms. So let's step away from this fair use thing for a second and let's go for a ride. So I want you to imagine that we're driving down the road. Just going for a drive around. There are no speed limits posted. There's no traffic laws where we are. It's basically all up for interpretation. It's not that it's a lawless place. It's just there are no black and white areas. It's all gray. So we're driving down Gray Street and a cop pulls us over and he says, "Oh, you're speeding." "But officer, I was going 30 miles an hour." "Nope, you're speeding." Now you're gonna go in front of a judge and the judge is going to determine whether or not you were speeding. It's just guidelines. So one judge might look at it and say, "You know what? I agree with the cop. You were definitely speeding." And another judge is going to look at it and say, no, 30 miles an hour is perfectly fine. She was fine. It's good. You're okay. This is how I look at fair use. It is such a complicated topic and it's really up for interpretation. And anytime you use something without somebody's permission, you are at risk. Whether or not they're going to find it, whether or not they're going to decide to take legal action, that's a gamble. I don't know. You don't know. I'd say most of the time they don't take legal action, but it is a possibility. It's always a possibility. Willing to gamble? Are you willing to pay $9.2 million like the Houston school had to pay? Because I'm not. Are you willing to pay $1 million like this couple in Florida that dressed up as Tigger and Eeyore had to pay? That's a lot of money. I'm not paying that. I know at this point in time, you're probably scared. It sounds like a really scary thing that you're just trying to go out there and have fun and make a living and teach some kids. And now you've got this whole thing of fair use over your head and you're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna too much. Dude, I get it, okay? I get it. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to make you aware of how I interpret it. And I've gone through and binge watched a ton of YouTube videos on this, and I saw a lot of things that I agreed with and a lot of things that I didn't really agree with. I wanted to clear up some of the misconceptions from what I have seen personally. A few months ago, I started working for this company called Outschool, and if you're not familiar with them, it is an absolutely amazing place to work. I can get into that in another video some more. Make sure you check out the other videos that I have on my YouTube if you're not familiar with it. It's an online teaching thing. You create your own curriculum and you use it to teach kids whatever you want to teach them, mostly to a certain degree. Outschool has in it that you are responsible for the content you put out there. So if you violate a copyright law, boop, Outschool's out of it. I saw this copyright thing coming up so many times. I have seen people afraid of violating the copyright laws. I have seen people misinformed of the copyright laws. I have seen people misinformed about what fair use is. All of these things that I told you before are all things that I've seen on there. They're all things that I've seen in the forums with people talking and miseducating people on fair use. I just wanted to clear up some misconceptions a lot of people think that it's totally okay to use things in different contexts, but it's really, really a gray area, and it's always best to get the permission of the person that's creating it. I also recognize that there are a ton of creators out there that would not mind sharing their work for use in these platforms. And sometimes it's hard to find them. People have gone out and they've reached out to authors, they've reached out to publishers, they've reached out to content creators, they've reached out to teachers, paid teachers, sellers, they've reached out to all sorts of sellers asking, like, is it okay if I create my work and list it here in my classes? Is it okay if I use this to help teach kids? And a lot of times they get no. Sometimes they get yes, sometimes they get no. But sometimes it's hard to find them. It's like a needle in a haystack, trying to find somebody that's first of all going to reply to you, and second of all going to say yes. So this is where my big announcement comes in, and I'm so excited about it. Insert break dance. My big announcement is I'm a terrible dancer.
No, Mom, you're a beautiful dancer.
My kid says I'm a beautiful dancer though. I am creating an online marketplace where creators can sell their original work and buyers can buy these pieces of work with the permission to use them in their classes. So you no longer have to hunt for these creators. I'm really excited about this. The website is called koalateachers.com, and I am currently accepting sellers to list on this marketplace. I have a few authors that are setting up their shops as we speak. I have some content creators that are setting up shops as we speak. Very nervous, very excited about this. I think this is going to help a lot of teachers. I know this is going to help a lot of teachers. I've actually taken a look at some of the things that my newest sellers are about to post in their shops, and I am extremely excited, and I'm ready to buy. I am ready to buy from these sellers because I think they're pretty amazing. Really excited about this. If you are interested, now the shop has not officially launched yet. There are a few things on there, but not very much. If right now I'm really looking for content creators and authors and people who are interested in sharing what they've got, making a little extra money doing so, as well as allowing others to use their works in the online classroom environments. Now these will not be permitted to be used for resale or anything like that. You will have your rights there protected still, and buyers cannot share. Like, I can't go and say, hey, this is my work, I'm going to give it to all my friends to use because I bought it. But it's a marketplace where people can help each other become better online teachers by sharing the things that they've got and creating things for other people. I also have a request form. So if any teacher is watching this and you have specific requests, like maybe you want something on the solar system created, or you want a book about whatever, the authors and the creators can go through and they can look through your requests and fill your requests if it's something that they can do. This is in the very early stages, and I expect some changes to be made as I learn more and as the company grows. But I am really, really excited to be offering this, and I'm looking at an official launch date maybe sometime next week. So I will keep you updated on this. Right now, I'm just trying to fill shops and get sellers in there so that when I do officially launch this to buyers, there is content in there. If you are interested in becoming a seller on this platform, please keep in mind that I am not looking for people to be using pictures of Tigger in books. I am not looking for people to be using pictures of Elsa in books. I'm looking for people who are creating their own original content that want to maybe earn a little extra money from sales and get their name out there, help other teachers, maybe sell the things that they've already made. If this is something that interests you, please click the link below and fill out the application form to be a vendor. and I will be in touch with you. Thank you for watching today, and I hope that this helps somebody out there that was confused with the fair use. I know, again, I am not a lawyer, I am not a legal expert. This is just my interpretation of the fair use law and how it can affect you as an online teacher. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and click subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys!